Hey, welcome back to episode 2 of eVenture Prince. I gave a big description in episode 1 about what this is all about and kind of what I'm trying to do here. So I'd appreciate it if somehow you just stumbled upon this episode to maybe go back. It's on the same channel, eVenture Prince episode 1. But for those, just to give you a little taste, I am somebody who has spent my entire life trying to make a living through creative stuff, whether it be photography, stand-up comedy, radio, podcasting, dumb videos for YouTube and stuff like that. And so I wanted to do something where I spend an entire year. Something I've never been great at is like being really strict about posting images on my Instagram and like getting the word out there, and that these are for available, that I'm trying to become an artist and a full-time artist. So this is something I thought would be kind of interesting, to where I would do 2 posts a week, every week, Tuesday and Thursday, an Instagram photo, and then accompany it with a little video here on YouTube where I dive more into the image, what was going behind the scenes, how did I take it, what did I think about it, when and where I took it. So that's what I got going. Like I said, there is an episode 1 where I get into this into my history a little more. I've always been into podcasting, and I don't know what that was. The heck was that? Okay, I don't know. My computer made a weird sound, but I'm gonna keep rolling with it. So we're into episode 2. I want to kind of just get right into it and show you the picture. So this photo I got right here was taken. And when I do this, I like to first just give the real details, because to me, it's very interesting to find out exactly where someone put this. And what I actually should do next time is maybe take a screenshot of even the location. Like, I'm telling you where it is, but maybe I should take a screenshot of the location so you can see the location of the photo and then the photo. And I think that's something I'd like to do for the next episode. Next episode. Dumb. Anyway, this one, having said that, was taken on Sunday, January 2nd of 2022 at 11:19 a.m. It was on the Velazan Vel Velasland Beach on Oahu in Hawaii. So the big island, the one with Honolulu in Hawaii. And the story behind that is kind of there's actually a ridiculous part to it. The story why the photo was taken is, as I'd mentioned, I'd been into stand-up comedy in 2022. I had saved up for a while, and in 2022 I bought a minivan, and two of my buddies and me drove around the country with the goal of performing open mic comedies in all 50 states. So at the time, how I thought this trip was going to go was we were going to start in Michigan. And I think it was like December 26th or something like that, or 27th. And Cannonball Run it out to LA. And the original plan was I would celebrate New Year's Eve on Hawaii. That's when the trip would start. That's when the comedy trip would start. And then it would ideally end in New York City at Times Square on New Year's Eve. The New York City thing did not happen for several reasons, mostly being just the trip went different than I thought it would go. And also the fact that at one point in the middle of it, I broke my shoulder and had to go home for 3 months. So there was a few factors on why that didn't happen, but that was what the thought process was. We were going to start in Detroit, drive as fast as we could out to LA, fly to Hawaii. We arrived on Hawaii on New Year's Eve. And then unfortunately, um, I had started feeling sick a few days before, the day before. My friends were like, it's probably fine. You're probably just tired from all the driving. We get out, long story short, too late. It's New Year's Eve, and I just progressively feel worse throughout the day, just terrible. And we have this really, I mean, it's not the nicest in the world, but a pretty decent Airbnb. On this trip I did in 22, where we travel around the country, there was 2 places I spent a lot of money at, one in the Key West and one being in Hawaii. We were a 5-minute walk from the ocean in Hawaii, and in any other circumstances, it would have been incredible. The thought was we were gonna sit there and celebrate New Year's Eve on Hawaii and see the fireworks, maybe over the ocean even, or something. And then we're going to start this adventure. Well, I got sick, and then so did my buddies. And I did not spend, so I did not leave my bed other than to go to the bathroom and throw up on, too much information, I know, throw up on January 1st, on New Year's Day. And so this photo was January 2nd at 11:19 AM. This was the first time I'd left the house since since we got there, December 31st. I never even left, and I didn't even leave my bed, like I said, other than those other reasons, all of New Year's Day. And then finally, I kind of felt just good enough to stumble out and take this picture. And I think I took this picture and headed right back in. And that was such a bummer for all of us. All three of us got sick in the end, and all three of us felt like crap the entire time we were in Hawaii. So I need to go back to Hawaii because I've been to Hawaii, and yet my only real experience with it is being incredibly sick in an Airbnb and then eventually in a hotel room with two other guys in rather tight quarters, everybody feeling like crap. But this photo was taken on the beach of Mackinac Island and or Mackinac Island, Hawaii, Oahu. I believe that'd be kind of the east side, I suppose, or west side, I suppose, of the island it would be, because it was our Airbnb was, as I said, on Oahu, which is the biggest island. I guess I can kind of show this is I need to, going forward, I'll do this a little better, but we were up. Let me see. You know what? Let me do this. Like I said, this is something I want to do better going forward, but I'm still learning a little bit here how I want to do this. And let me see though, because I want to give some context of where this was taken. So if you look at it here, this oh shoot. There we go. It was there, and you can see kinda where Honolulu is in comparison, and I thought it was a really cool shot. I really love water shots, I love cool skies, and so I took this image, and I thought it looked really cool. And I think that after this quickly, I, went back and did nothing for a few more hours, and I did end up going out later and getting a cool sunset photo. So I got 2 cool photos from Hawaii, but most of my time in Hawaii was absolutely terrible and not something I look back on super fondly of. No, I'm kidding. I look back at it fondly. There's fun moments in that. We were about to be on this trip where we and my friends and I were gonna be on the road, would end up being on the road for 5 and a half straight months, and we all agreed in the end that this actually was a really good, breaking into it. Because man, if we could survive 3 days in a, Airbnb with a massive stomach flu, and still wanna keep going, we were pretty good to go. So that was this photo. It was taken, like I said, 11 in the morning. I think it's really cool, how the rocks are on the bottom. I'm big into framing. I like angles quite a bit. And so, yeah, I took this photo in Hawaii, in, January 2nd of 2022, the start of my cross-country comedy adventure. And speaking of that, not to be such a shill, but if anyone's interested, I have, like I mentioned, I have worked seasonally on Mackinac Island, a place called Mackinac Island, the last 3 summers. I also spent 2022 driving around the country performing an open mic comedy show in all 50 states. If you're wondering what any of that's like, if you're wondering about, I work with horses on Mackinac Island. I assisted a driver and then eventually learned how to drive horses myself. A way to support me without even maybe purchasing a photo, I have a Patreon page called the eVenturecast Patreon page, and it has hundreds of videos and extra podcasts that I do about living and working on Mackinac Island, and also driving around the country and performing comedy in all 50 states, and what that was like for me. So this has been episode 2 of the eVenture Prince. I'm so new to this. Like, even when I pulled that up there, I want to start doing better with that, where I have a screenshot of, even though I explained to you where the location is, there's no reason I can't have a screenshot of where the location is. So I would like to do that going forward for the next episode. But I'm still kind of learning exactly how I'm gonna do this. But I hope you guys are enjoying it and enjoying the concept. If you are, I know there'll be a rough go at the beginning with these things always. I've started so many podcasts and stuff like this, so I always know the beginning's a little rough. Take some time to get your sea legs under you. But if you're enjoying the concept, please leave a comment on my YouTube page. Like and subscribe, of course, if you haven't heard that a million times from a million different content creators. So, yep, that's it. That's gonna be episode 2 of the E-Venture Prince. I mentioned in the first episode, these won't, especially the beginning, necessarily be super long. These are gonna be rather to the point, and so I super appreciate it. So, thanks. Hope you can see you guys back for episode 3. Have a good one. See you.